outnumbered co-host and former White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, take us inside the White House for a second. They were going to give Joe Biden a cognitive test, and Joe didn't even know?
Yeah, and then they decided against it for political reasons. I mean, this is crazy to me. And what the craziest part is this, I've been in the Situation Room dozens and dozens of times. And I've sat there and I watched President Trump lead coronavirus task force meetings. And I watched him debate, how long should we keep the country closed? How many lives can we save? And make these decisions that impact whether you live or die, quite literally. And I think about this administration with Joe Biden. And I think about the fact that they thought he should have a cognitive test, but decided not to do it because it would look bad. And I immediately think of this Politico headline in the Situation Room. Top generals contradict Biden, say they urged him not to withdraw from Afghanistan. What happened in the Situation Room in August of 2021? I can tell you if my former boss was sitting there, he'd be listening to the generals. He'd be talking. He'd be engaging. He'd be protecting American lives. But we lost 13 people at Abbey Gate. And if I'm a family member tonight thinking about that, I'm wondering if this man froze up with rigor mortis, like we know he did many times, according to Carl Bernstein, in the Situation Room when my child was at the Abbey Gate.
You mentioned freezing up. The whole strategy was to freeze out any reporter that reported Biden was half brain dead. So if you ever said that, you weren't getting interviews, you weren't getting invitations to galas. That's kind of what dictators do.
It is cutting off access. And shame on these reporters. There's a scene I can't get out of my mind because these reporters, they regularly interact with the president, and you watch them scurry in and out of the room at the Oval, watching them shout questions at Trump, run out of the room. There's a scene that was reported by Olivia Nuzzi. They're in there, they're engaging with Joe Biden. They get out of the room and they debate how dead Joe Biden looked. And they settled on 40%. Shame on you for not reporting that when you saw it.
Wow. Well, you have to be a medical professional to diagnose someone as 40% dead, but I think everybody in the room could tell. Kayleigh, good to see you.